I should explain that I only met Seckon yesterday. I've seen his work before. And I think the progress is so fast in content of his work. It's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And if you know anything about Cambodia, you will know that Cambodia is suffered one of, I suppose, the 3 Holocausts of the 20th century. We had the one against the Jews by the Nazis, and there was one in Rwanda, thank you. And there was one in Cambodia where perhaps 1/3 of the population were killed. And when you are born into that kind of a trauma, it's very hard to get rid of it. It goes so deep into you and it stays there because all your values have gone wrong. So many bad things happen, unimaginably bad, worse than you could have ever dreamt of. They happen every day. And that's what Cambodia went through. Now, why should Cambodia go through it? I've no idea. I mean, the Cambodians are friendly, deeply cultural. They're wonderful people. They've also been great empire builders, and they've always been fantastic artists. But it's a very happy society. When I went to Cambodia in 1970, Sihanouk had just been the amazing king who kept resigning from the throne. He was put there by the French to be easily controlled by them because they were afraid of the old Khmer monarchs. And he went to France, and the military, backed by we don't know who, but it looks like maybe the Americans had something to do with it, maybe the Australians were involved, we don't know anything. He was overthrown, and the military came in, and we had the Khmer Republic. So that's when I was there. So the Khmer Republic was having a hard time because half the country was occupied by the Khmer Rouge. Now, these were the rebels against the Republic. And so certain roads you couldn't get down. You could only go so far and you wouldn't get to the other end. So Siem Reap, for instance, anybody been to Cambodia? And well, if you've been to Cambodia, you will have gone to Siem Reap, to Angkor, to see the temples. And the road to Siem Reap was blocked, both sides. So you couldn't get there. You could fly. If you flew there, which I did, you couldn't get into the temples. I was dying to see Angkor Wat. And no, it was occupied by the Khmer Rouge and the Vietnamese. So the North Vietnamese army. And I was given accreditation by the government in Phnom Penh, not by them, and so I couldn't go and see it. So that was a very difficult period in the country's history. You were surrounded, they were gradually closing in on Phnom Penh, the army, and yet, in the middle of the war, when you see terrible things happen, because in all wars there are terrible things, I felt that I was learning from Cambodian people how to live. I was 20 years old, 21 years old, and they did things so well. The way their politeness, their warmth, the way they accepted you as a host in their home, they were absolutely amazingly friendly people. So I was loving the people and hating the war. So it's a big puzzle to me that all this came to Cambodia. They're just victims of the history in that period. They're the last kind of people that you expect this to happen. But then it happens. And Seckon was born when the Americans started bombing. The Americans in those days still thought bombing did everything, answered all the problems. Actually didn't answer any of them, but they thought so, because they were too far away from really understanding. And then the Khmer Rouge came in and did all this. And one of the questions that Seckon asked me yesterday when we went around the paintings was, who were the Khmer Rouge? Okay, we have the leaders are in trial in Phnom Penh now, in an international tribunal. And they have genocide, war crimes. The leaders will be judged, we hope eventually, not many of them, 3 or 4. But they didn't do it all. It's this wonderful Khmer people that were involved and engaged in it. So everybody, whether whether you joined the Khmer Rouge, or whether you were just a victim and your family was killed, or you uprooted and moved from your village to somewhere else. I mean, all the most unimaginable horrors happened. So that is what Seckon was born into. His generation went through one of the most awful experiences that a human can imagine. And I think we need, for people to recover from that, because the Khmer people are great. If history has gone like this, like all history is up and down, they're going to recover from this. They are recovering from this. It's going to take a long time. But the hardest part of all is the inside damage and getting values again and relaxation and acceptance of the past. To accept the past and the horrors, because if you were in his generation, you were engaged in it, you have to talk about it. And talking about it is a great thing. And there is an organization called Documentation Center in Cambodia, which you may have heard of, which is gathering all the information on what happened in the Khmer Rouge period. Because that's the first thing you've got to do. That's what Germany is now doing about the Holocaust. They're now, since 1984, when the Berlin Wall came down, they're talking about their Holocaust. And the historians are researching it. Before that, they didn't do it. It was silence. The German textbooks at school had 1 page on the Nazi period. 1 page. Well, now the Germans are great world experts on the history of the Nazis, what they did, everything they did. They are, of course, great historians. And Cambodia is starting to do that with this documentation center in Phnom Penh, where they go around also. It's not just documents, it's also people. So they record in villages what happened. And they get the leaders in each village who are prepared to talk, because in talking, you get all the pain out. But does it take you all the way? I think, and we were discussing this yesterday, that the way to recover from something as big and awful as that is actually through art. You need music. You need dancing. You need the liberation of performance of that kind. And you need art. And I'm very pleased to say that we are now here in the presence of Cambodia's great painter of the Khmer Rouge. And this exhibition downstairs is the exhibition about it. There have been other paintings, particularly by a man who was forced to paint in the Tul Sleng prison, where I think 15,000 people were tortured and executed in Phnom Penh. And he did paintings of what happened there. And he's a wonderful man, but he didn't have a great painter's gift. He was not a great painter. So what he did is recording something which is really valuable. But what we've not had before is a great painter with a great gift doing the subject. And that's, I think, what Seckon is.
Thank you.
So we're going to have a little discussion, because he's a great talker. He will tell you his English is not good, but believe me, it's wonderful. We're going to just have a conversation so that he can express his thoughts. And afterwards will go down, because if he can, he's a great narrative painter. He paints narratives that when you look at these paintings, there are things going on in them, and your mind is immediately pulled in, and you're trying to work out what's happening. It's that kind of thing. Now, Cambodia is full of narrative painters. I mean, from the Angkor period, always people have been doing something happening on the walls of the temples. And sometimes it's contemporary events, politics. On Angkor Wat, you can see Suryavarman II, the great king. And he is the first king who puts his own portrait on the wall of a temple. Before that, he only put gods on the wall of the temple. So they invented a political portrait. And then you go to the Bayon and Bantier Chma, which I'm now writing about. And there you've got history, contemporary history, like a newsreel of what's happening in the kingdom. The great events are recorded on the walls of the temple. And then you go into the temple of the gods. But the world of man outside, and the politics and the current situation is there outside. So religion is at the core. Politics is key. And when you're an artist that is leading a people's soul out of a Holocaust, you are spiritually engaged, religiously engaged, politically engaged. But you're still an artist, you're not a politician. So it's always gentle, soft approach, and it's indirect. And that, I think, if you see when you see the paintings, you'll see how powerful it is. The feeling is very powerful and direct. The message is more soft and obscure, because it's always coming out of the inside of a creator. He is a philosopher in that. His philosophy about life and about art and about his country, and a spokesman for the Khmer soul in the modern world after this awful experience. That is, when you express that in art, it is a philosophy that you're expressing. It's not conceptual, it's not logical, it's not rational. It's irrational, it's full of feeling, and it's expressed in that way. And only artists can do it. And I think that's Chang Yuk, who is the head of the documentation center in Cambodia. I spoke to him earlier this year, and he was saying, I think we need art now. We've got it documented, we've got tons of documents, we know really what happened from the people that were in it, who are still alive. But now we need the liberation of the art. And he's actually building an interesting museum. It's called the Museum of Memory, and I think it'll be open in 18 months or something like that. It'll be a huge thing, not totally unlike the Holocaust Museum in Berlin, if you've been to that. So it will be a new, that in itself is an expression of an art form. Anyway, let me ask Seckon some simple questions.
You speak is everything corner. I keep you all speak about me. I'm amazing. You like my writing about my art. Like you know me everything.
I know a lot about you because of your paintings. Your paintings speak very clear.
Just painting now is just short time, but you say everything. What I keep try to keep hiding.
No, nothing is hidden. It's all I think articulated. It's all out there. So, my first question is about roots. And your paintings, not that much contemporary art, has many historical references. I see a lot of history in your paintings. It's recent history, that's the Khmer Rouge, and it's ancient. So it's both. And they're all history which is alive today. Not history which has gone to sleep, but how ancient Angkor and the Khmer Rouge are alive in us today. How do you relate ancient Angkor and modern Khmer life? in your art?
So at the moment in Cambodia, it's like develop very fast, and me, the one of the have heard, everybody have heard, but I turn away to be how to make a beauty and fit my feeling to be good, step by step, and everything still in my stomach. It's not clear, not peaceful yet. So I can turn quick to be a very free life and very peaceful. So that's why I use the character old and also the bad history to fix and before it clear, then I will turn. But also, if Earth's country is after war, knowledge is very low. So if turn very quick, very dangerous, like the time of Khmer Rule, is destroy the history, destroy Buddha, and the country come to the hell. So this is just for example. But I want to use example and mix for the what happened drama to be clear myself, and I use influence material what happened in Cambodia in the life today to connect with.
But you still feel strong connection to the kings of Angkor, to the gods of Angkor.
Like example, the king of Angkor is like God. I compare to the God because what he doing for the country is peaceful, and he become to the goddess like he passed away, but he go back to live in God. That's why I use the elegant through to the life today, and for example, to be a person live one life, not to do a bad thing in we still alive, just do the good thing.
You are an amazingly observant person about your society, both the deep things and the small things. He's an amazingly visual, observant person. We were walking down the street the other day to have an Italian lunch, and I noticed his eyes going everywhere all the time. And then he was looking like that, and we went on. I said, "What are you looking at?" And there on the street was a McDonald's wrapper for the World Cup, with a ball, bright colours, and with a ball coming out like a volcano. And he said, "Excuse me, I'm going to collect it." Because he likes volcanoes, and he's always collecting. And he puts them in his collages. And I said, "What do you do with all this stuff?"
When I grow up with land, with world, I love mine is environment, my body environment, and depend to environment. So when everything part of person, between clothes, food, everything, but when we have to clean and throw away. But I feel upset when enjoyed and throw away. So I have to get it, and mean they die. I have opportunity to give them a new life. So I get it. But also, not only just the modern like live paper, the old paper, I comparing, you know, how is different, but and can using join together, live together, to be a new world together.
So you have lots of collage. And what is it that you love about taking things from the world and putting them in your art? Why are you so drawn to that?
What I love, because this is quite strong question, but what I love, this is because I love so much to do that way. When I young, influence already, I play with material, because after killing field, I'm on the right field always. I not have enough material from product, paper, everything to use it. The buffalo boy in the right field, I collect all the grass and make the thread from the nature, the sugar palm long, and take the leaves and sewing and make a costume and performance.
Where does this sewing come from?
That from because the part of the leaves not joined.
But you love sewing.
Separate. Then I have to make a costume for perform. How I can do it? And nothing to do, not real straight. I just take the leaves from sugar palm and make a small line and can sewing and make a costume, and we can perform. And also we use the flower, color of the flower and some fruit, make color pen, and like that leaves we join together like collage. And this is why influence, you know, make I like. And also that what I explained about collecting something is meaningful for me, very meaningful, because I like part of life to be threw away, maybe not nice. So have to be do something, you know. I can do is do something like any time of my life. It's something I love so much, something I care so much. I have to celebrate a little bit or what I can do. Like I love the world, I love Cambodia. How I can share the world? I make art, but what I select the rubbish. This is what I share the world already. Is I love my country. What happened, the history, make birth bad to the people. That I can do is make art, and also can fit my feeling. And because the old generation, what I know is the harmony, and my life is very bumpy. That I don't want the new generation. It's like my work, like my life. Then how I like a breed. I show the ancient its beauty, its harmony, to join how I can add, and to show the new generation that how we develop, how we can turn. This is just my model, but I'm not tell people to follow me. Just my expression to show, like how I done to break the pot with the fruit, because who is strong, who is weak, who is big, who is loose. So that not share at all.
Can you talk about this giant naga that you made? This is his biggest sculpture. It's 220 meters?
225 meters.
225 meters.
The
Made
head
from plastic? How did you make?
The head is 5 meters. And
5?
Made from the recycled plastic. I buy from the kid when he select from the street. and 65 kilogram plastic, and rattan we make a cycle, and the body like 1 meter and 40, so the long is 225. The team for working is like 400 people, but not every day, not one time. That come, you know, sometimes they come, the student come 1 hour, 40 students come 1 hour and go exchanging. It's the volunteer. And my idea about I care the water, because I think about world, everybody, nature, animal, people need water. Drink, shower, clean, wash, everything is water. But every river in Cambodia, it does. Some is pollution. So like example, Siem Reap is holy river, like the magic river from Angkor Thom. It's compared to the river in India, because from the mountain is the water can clean the body, take the bad thing away. That Angkor Thom, like holy water. But when I visit Siem Reap the first time, still okay. But when more journalists, more building the hotel a lot, and put the part of the pollution through to the river, and river become the pollution bad. So I feel upset because the river is the waterfall from the mountain and move always. It's beautiful. Why people use or people keep nature beautiful for beauty in the city? That's why they put pollution on there. Make me not happy. And also the river and water is very connected to the Naga. The symbol of Naga is water. And I think people a lot of asking me why Naga plastic. That very made me thinking a lot. But I already have idea because the body of Naga is plastic. The body of water is plastic. Everybody use plastic. 30 years ago, I not have seen plastic everywhere in my village, in my country. But when I see plastic join with the wind, when I look, everybody's hand is plastic, carry plastic. Plastic is most popular everywhere in the world. Plastic can traveling everywhere to another country, by people. And I can say the fashion is popular, but the most popular is plastic. Then that's why I have to make something happen in the water. So that's why I make a plastic Naga as very modern, like can say modern Naga, not a traditional Naga. Because
well, it's also traditional Naga because it's the same shape.
Yes, same shape.
As in Angkor, ancient Angkor, the bridges over
Naga.
the water, it's a Naga, it's a cobra with many heads, and then a long tail like this. And this was the largest Naga of all. I think maybe the Bakong temple is about half as long as yours.
Yeah, that's true, because the old generation of Angkor from now, no one make a Naga big like my Naga.
Yeah, that's right. It's the Bakong temple. Now the notion of Naga, of serpent, is different in Asia and particularly in Cambodia. The Naga is capable of going underground, underwater, but also in the sky. So the Naga will create rain. So the rain god is a Naga, or is riding on a Naga. And I think Seckon's Naga, plastic Naga, was on World Water Day.
World Water Day.
World Water Day. So it's a symbol. The snake for us doesn't necessarily mean water. But in Cambodia, the rice paddies have got snakes in them. They're water snakes. And so the Naga, the notion of the Naga is the symbol of water, but also air. So when you go to a temple in Cambodia, the temple is for the gods. So you go from the world of man, you go on a Naga bridge,
climb to the heaven,
to the palace of the god, and only via the Naga can you get there. And so that's an ancient Khmer symbol that all Khmer people naturally immediately respond to, which comes out in a contemporary art in plastic with another message about water today, the river today, pollution today, and also what his government is doing to the water around Phnom Penh, because there are lots of problems there about taking the sand out of the Mekong and dumping it into areas and destroying where people's living quarters to build new ones. You know, the city's got to grow, but the question is, how do you do it? And some of the development has not been good, which has also been hurting you.
So that time, I have asking the place or asking the government to have opportunity to show the Naga, but the
municipality.
Yeah, he not allow me. When he see my design, he said, "This is not Cambodian Naga." I don't know how to tell him, because the symbol, the shape is the Cambodian, but not Italian traditional. And how I can make work, because it artist something not nice, you know, not a jacket, not nice like people work with the government. So I go back to ask the letter from the king, and the king agreed, and I take all photo. I have made some special people in the government, and then I go again, and they said, but I think don't be make bad. I'm not make government upset, because I want to support the government. My idea to share with the government, not a look out government, because they feel like, oh, maybe the government not take care enough the river, and you do that mean show the bad thing to the public. You know, I said no. I want to give message to the people, and the idea how to everybody not be to throw everything, and plastic, including the plastic, cannot hard to go away in underwater, so that, and also fish, everything can eat and die. So that what I want to tell the people. Then I show the letter from the king, everything that allow, give me the time for have opportunity. But now I want to say, if the river is the government the protection, and take everything away, move the system of the pollution, and clear and clean. This is what I share.
It's a political message, but it's very soft and it's very cooperative. It's not oppositional. And I read a review by Bradford Edwards in one of the Phnom Penh papers about Golden Flower Skirt, which is a painting. And he said, I like these words, he says, the painting is ripe with meaning. That's the political. Yet tenuous in delivery. So it holds back. The message gets through, but it's not an obviously political art. It's much more subtle. It's much more observed, communal, come and join me in my thinking, whether it's the Naga or it's in the painting. It's a very special status that artists carve for themselves. They're not politicians. They're in a different world, but they're in our world, and they're talking to us, and they have a stronger language because they have this gift of being able to communicate visually. And that's what I think Seckon's position is, the classical position of the artist, in fact, in the world. Engaged in our world, but not trying to change it like a politician or a municipality. It's much softer and more varied than that. I wanted to ask about two other things. And then, if anybody's got questions, we'll have some questions. Dance. Dance has always been important in Cambodia. In the old inscriptions, always when something happens, a temple is built, or a ceremony takes place, or a king is crowned, or a king dies, you can't do any of these things without dance. So there are pictures of dancers and there are inscriptions of dancers, and dancers had a very high status in society. Some of the inscriptions make it clear that they are called Sir so-and-so dancer, Lord so-and-so dancer, and they're given titles in the inscriptions. And this is and some of them have property. They own quite a lot of property. So their skill in dancing, it was, it's a bit like soccer players today. You become very famous and celebrated, and everybody wants to give you a lot of money. So in fact, the dancers owned a lot of land, and they were well up there in society. You're a dancer too. You're also coming out of this long tradition of Cambodian dance. How do you feel about dance as a Cambodian?
I talk both. One is dance. Dance means dance. Everybody can dance. I can dance. Join dance because Cambodia like party, but have many kind of dance. Traditional, African, cycle dance, and many different dance. But always I like dance free like that to make me happy. But another dance, what I done about like performance, that I create for clean, for show expression to the people or about myself with something I move the body to make like example to perform an opening for myself with bad thing inside, a good thing inside, hit together. Sometimes I cannot control how I do bad thing for me and for everybody. But the good thing come that I know this is my apology, my sorry to do. That's what I want to show my expression, to clean myself and to show people.
And my next question is related. What about skirts? Also, there is a video downstairs which you should have a look at in the exhibition, where he gets all kinds of people in all kinds of countries dancing inside skirts. But it's always a skirt. It's a Cambodian skirt, but it's a skirt and a dance. Now, skirts, heavy skirts, parachute skirts, golden skirts. Why all these skirts?
When I never think about the skirt. It become too interesting for me. When I'm young, I never, maybe I did, but one time, the time I start interesting. When I come to the pagoda, I stand my leg to the land of temple, to the pagoda. I feel like my body up. And when I see the color of the cloth of the monk used like moving the rope for cover the body, kind of like a reflection with the sun. It's beautiful. It's beautiful color and strong to me, and make me wow. And the body and tie something like that. Then when my mom start talk about I born and the wartime, and she said I just have only one skirt because wartime. Where it will buy the skirt? One skirt and break everywhere, and just start to pack, to sewing and put the leg, the part of the skirt, another skirt, and sewing. Become too heavy. It's heavy. She said very heavy. And the time of the she get a breakthrough, and she wearing. She ran away from the house to the bunker. The bomb dropped. She said, heavy skirt, heavy body, and the bomb is heavy. So very, and attacked to me, and she said, I'm in the stomach. So she ran with the bomb drop and to the bunker. So why I very interesting with the skirt. The skirt is life. The skirt is protection life. The skirt is protection me, because the flower of the skirt is like shining to the bomb, move the bomb away from the killer, my killer. Like I still alive without the skirt cover, the protection me. This is something like that. And also, when one time when I born already, very small, when the sound of the airplane come, she told my brother to take me to the bunker. When my brother run to take me and the quick cannot take me. He just see and he run back to the bunker, and the bomb it dropped there, but just move a little bit past the house, and the next house is explode, the fire, and my house everything is fall down, the wall, everything, and like fly away. When that time everybody in a bunker, but she crying and run out to find me, and I still out. I don't know. That's why I said the flower, the skirt is protection me alive, because everything destroyed, the wall, my house, and I'm next to the my house, and the next house is fire explode, everything is gone. Yeah, this is amazing for me. It's the number one. It's the skirt, but I respect my mother, and I respect my life. And why the first heavy skirt? I used all the flower protection, the smoke explode from the bomb. And second time is I make a performance with the big skirt. Any girl, any old lady give me the skirt, I make a big skirt. And
sarong.
Yes, sarong, and all of them performing around. And after I take all the skirt to put on my painting. All the painting is from the skirt.
So this reminds me of Joseph Beuys, German painter. He crashed his aeroplane in the war, and he was lying there and dying, and he was rescued, and they wrapped him in felt. So all his art and candle, they gave him a candle and a felt. So, like your skirt, he made his art out of felt and candle wax, always, because it was his life and he's saving his life. It's like just like your story. Now tell us about what the skirt is made of, this parachute story.
When I was done in the Khmer New Year 2011, after I show the heavy skirt, I go back, and at Khmer New Year I go to countryside, and I go to dance cycle dancing with a group. I'm always one of the GM top, like to start to play everything. And when we done and until afternoon, we tired and we finish. Then I finish, I wash my hand. Then I look up. I see the parachute make a shadow for dancing around. Then I said, "Oh, parachute!" And I asked the man, "What is kind of parachute?" He said, "Oh, the parachute I found from the bomb in America, dropped. Then I keep in the house." I said, "Wow!" I wanted. And the man said, "You can have it." Then he gave to me, and I keep in my studio. Then I think about, wow, what I can do with the how I can do with this parachute, what I can do with the parachute, and then I think about the heavy skirt, so that I have an idea. Then the year 2014, 13, I have opportunity to go to New York to have a exhibition there and workshop. So I think about, is this why Cambodian America? You know, why Cambodian America? Because Cambodian America is appeared by the bomb, by the war. Then they go like drop and explode, something like that, you know, explode and make people jump into everywhere. So I think about why American, why American drop bomb? Why? I don't know. Why? It's deeply. I just my question easy, like why drop the bomb in Cambodia? Want to help, or want to protect, or want to kill? So why I drop back something? Then I think about that. I asked the sarong, the skirt again. Then to ask the lady from American, Khmer American,
in America,
to cut a flower from the skirt of the lady in Cambodia, and to take the flower to put on the parachute.
So
in America, what I mean, I want to drop back art and flower in America. I say something like that. I don't want to drop bomb you, but I drop back art and flower.
It's an amazing story. I mean, these are the narratives behind these pictures. But we will have a chance to just stand in front of them and let him point out how the things link up together. Because this is narrative art. Everybody loves stories, and this art is full of. So, does anybody have any questions?
But perhaps making that connection between the journey and the river, the metaphor, the narrative in your work, I just wondered, is there a relationship between each painting, or do they stand alone, or do you feel that there's symbols or figures that reoccur, so they are literally between one painting and another, some other continuous narrative, like a life journey for you, or are they very separate paintings?
The painting.
Yes.
This painting very connection together between the drama, the old character, and idea, politics, and my life, and the life what happened today. So, but I just remind, I want to do something to make beauty and support verse, support the people. But I don't want, I want positive too. I don't want negative. I don't want people say me or journalists say me political artist. Keep political under, because my artwork is kind of something upset, like the bomb drop, but the flower explode in the smoke, cover the smoke, like protection. The meaning is beauty then hurt, but hurt become to beauty. So that I want to be, I am a political artist, but I live political there. I want people to see beauty more than something. So don't call me political artist. Then maybe we have more activity in my country. Will be put me in the somewhere.
No, but this collection here are particularly together connected, and I think you painted them all within a few months.
Yeah, like this one, I not have time enough because honestly I tell the truth. I built a house in Siem Reap for 16 months, and then I joined with Rosie at the Singapore Art Fair. So very short for me to have opportunity to do artwork, but I cannot. I don't want miss. I want finish. And daytime and nighttime, always I work. I lose 5 kilos. And Fabio say, oh, maybe enough. I said, I want to finish my story. And I do like 7 months of.
That's amazing. Any more questions?
Just from what you just said, I want to finish my story, but that is that this cycle is just an end, and then there is another story to be told.
That just this plan, not whole plan.
Right.
Because like before about heavy skirt, it talk a lot about my mother, and the people I not see my eye. The story come from my mother. But this I start from me. Everything like Hell on Earth is what happened in the drama, and what happened is the real. Drama is the word. The word have power, or the people have power. That's what I want to explain about in the painting.
So this is the great collection on Khmer Rouge. He's finally come to this, and this is the great Holocaust of Cambodia. So this is taking on the most difficult experience of all, the deepest and the most difficult to articulate. And he has found extraordinary means of doing that. So it goes back into his own roots, his own experiences, back to the history. Just tell us a little bit about how you interact with the temples of Angkor, the great signs of the civilization when the empire of the Khmers was the biggest thing in Southeast Asia. I think the biggest thing on earth outside of China. It was huge. It covered much of Thailand, down even to Malaysia, across to Vietnam, and it was organized to a degree that unless you know the history you wouldn't imagine. It was like a Roman Empire with a road system, water system, government organization, all of them supplied. There was a medical system. There were 102 hospitals built by Jayavarman VII, one king, and they all received a very precise measure of medical herbs and minerals and things that were used in medicine for the people. And everybody could go in there. It was an early NHS. And this was 102 hospitals in Cambodia 400 years before the first hospital was invented in Europe. At the Hospice de Beaune in Burgundy. This was the Catholic Church. The prince gave the money, the Duke of Burgundy gave the money to build this thing, And the sisters looked after the people who were ill. That's the first one in Europe. This was hundreds of years before in Cambodia. So my question about, I think we should go and look at the paintings, but I just want to, my last question is always, you've done this wonderful cycle now, you've really thought about and expressed your response to the big Cambodian issue, which is the Holocaust, which is still inside. And this is it. This is why this is a really important exhibition. What next?
So, this is my answer. Maybe I not know yet, because now I have to take relax. My country still in the present, so many things I have to do, and I want to people share that work. Not much talk about today, but because I aware about I do political bit today, dangerous for me, and I cannot freedom to do art at all. What I say, like leave something like that, but also I'm very strongly this time to make this work from everything my remember long time ago. I have opportunity to do my art and also to show in London for share people far away to know and try to know. I not know they everybody understand or not understand, because I not do something directly. My art is talk by expression, like talk but not see illustration. So a little bit drama, something political, is everything mixed together environment. So like doctor is see like that, but he understand me. He know everything. Make me very, very smiling and very happy, because just I do for me, but someone understand deep about in my body. So amazing for me, I hope people can get some understanding of my artwork.
And we'd also he'd like to sell it too, because he is an artist and he wants to make a living, and I think it's wonderful that Rossi and Rossi have picked up on somebody like Seckon, who is at a high point of his creative career. This is really the classical piece on this terrible history of Cambodia. So thank you very much. Oh, sir.
You mentioned that people like to treat your art not directly, express yourself politically. Have you ever thought that one day you might want to do it, to express your feeling to the Cambodian society? And also, what do you think about the emerging young artists who have the passion and to make things better for Cambodian society like you? And also, there are some artists who come from abroad, whether they are immigrated to the UK like myself a long time ago, or whether other international artists who are interested in that kind of sense of art. What do you think of that?
If the time I can do free, maybe I love to do something what I do. But for the young new generation, now maybe they can do, but because sometimes they do. But Cambodia is just carefully, because if somebody get name, easy destroy. But no name, it's okay, you know? It's okay. Singer or everybody is high, is the top one, is do something. So, but if can do free, maybe can do, because art is free. So I'm not say anything. But if something like that, maybe just carefully or negative but positive.
I think art comes first, and I think it's he's not a politician, and no artist is. If you're a political artist in that sense, trying to change directly, then you're a politician, whatever station you have in society. So it's art is, or in some periods, in some countries, all art is political. It must have the colouring. It must be engaged.
Yeah.
But it's not direct. It's not with a political message. He's not setting up. You can't. An artist doesn't lead a political party to. It's indirect. It's emphasizing things which are common to us all, lived by us all, deeper than simple politics, argument over this bill or that bill, or whatever's going through Parliament, or which party's winning the election or not winning the election, or that this is at a different level. And I think through history, it's always been like that. Artists are not directly doing it. They never do. But they are in our world, and they are making us feel differently about where we are and what the situation is. And really, going to deeper things, the politicians have not cured the problem of the Holocaust. And they're struggling to get people convicted of crimes against humanity in the court, an international court at that, otherwise they wouldn't be there at all. So the politicians are failing on that, but the artists are addressing it. So that's the deeper, bigger issue.
Because last year I met Seckon the first time in Cambodia, and I went to see graveyards and talk to him. And I found he's so passionate about what he's doing. And then because he gave me also showing me a poem. And some of the Khmer word, because I left Cambodia quite a long time ago, I didn't fully understand what it was about. But I can see what I can understand, like you said earlier, the narrative, the passion, what you do is everything. I can feel it from his heart. You can see the way he talks, the way he's passionate about it, which is great, and I find him such an inspiration.
So we say thank you to Seckon, and we go down and look at